Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. Well, 6:30 in the morning where Nick's at, but
wake up, India.
Woo!
you
Good morning,
know what that
today.
means? It means it's time for CKL. We got a good show planned for you all this evening. We're going to break down the gritty, the nail-biting win over the Tennessee Titans last Sunday. We're going to talk about some individual performances. We'll do this week's CKL poll. I'm sure we'll talk about the game coming up against the Jaguars and who knows what else. If you got anything you want to hear, if you got a question, you got a comment, you want to be part of the discussion, send us those chats, send us those comments. We surely appreciate those. We really appreciate likes, subscriptions to the channel. And we'll talk about Travis Kelce tying Gronk here for the record, but
Yeah, buddy.
one game away from the Travis Kelce prize pack giveaway. Could be this Sunday. So if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Get in there. You don't want to miss that. We're putting together a pretty cool prize to send out to everybody. So you can also check us out at our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Chiefs Kingdom Live. Before we get into things, fellas, how are you all doing tonight, this morning, wherever you're at, Bo?
Doing good, man. After that roller coaster of emotions of a game, I'm good to finally get the W, walk out of there successful, even though it was hard fought, way too close of a game. I mean, Vegas had it at 12 points, barely squeaked by with a 3-point victory, but hey, W's a W, feeling good. Good morning, Nick. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. Good evening, fellas. Yeah, I'm doing good. I was actually able to watch most of the game on my phone through the NFL app, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
I had to sign up for like a $10 a month subscription or something, but I was able to see the game. Travel to the office. Cell service was a little suspect, so I was seeing some Roblox or Minecraft people playing football, but I did get to see the end there with Patrick Mahomes just sitting there going, "Dude, like I'm just going to do this myself and just take the game over and win it." Yeah. So good. I'm doing good, man. I'm finding my way around here pretty good, and just yeah.
Yeah, Bo. When I was watching that game, I was thinking, "Damn, Bo should have came out for this one. That would have been a hell of a game to be at." So let's get into that game. Let's break it down. Chiefs are victorious, 20-17 in prime time. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's primetime Patrick Mahomes. The Showtime nickname for him never really stuck all that much, but it sure is fitting because that guy is unbelievable, especially in these primetime games on the big stage, under the lights. But just I want to get your guys' general thoughts about the game, and then, like I said, we'll break down some individual performances, what we thought about maybe the officiating. If you got a question or something you want to comment about the game, shoot us a comment there, send us a chat. We'll do our best to get to you and make you part of the show here. It makes it a lot more fun. Nick, I know your time might be a little bit shorter here than Bo's and mine is, so what were your just general thoughts about the game?
Yeah, frustrating to get that many yards and maybe not score more points. But look, I was really frustrated with the defense in the first quarter and a half. We were talking about it kind of on text messages, right? Just Derrick Henry, it's like kind of like they got like one guy, right? You know, they don't have AJ Brown anymore. They got a backup quarterback. It's like, that they're just like, it's like I don't know what movie it was where he's like, he's doing that thing too much. And it's like, it's really all he's got, right? Is that like Knocked Up or something?
Knocked
it's
up
like,
the dice
it's really
roll.
all they got.
He's just doing the dice move too much.
Yeah. And then I mean, the defense tightened up, and when we were down 8 points, they didn't let it turn into a 2-score game, which probably, the way things played out would have been a nail in the coffin for the Chiefs. So it was really exciting to see the defense clamp up and get tough, hold Derrick Henry to, I think it was like less than 30 yards or something in the second half. After, he had like almost 100 in the first half, he was on pace for another 200-yard game type performance. And he's a guy that once he gets going, it's like he starts getting better and better and better. So that was a standout for me, is seeing the defense kind of just really just get stiff when they needed to.
Right.
And then the other standout, obviously, is just the performance by Mahomes. He was a couple of pass attempts shy of the overall pass attempts record. No run game whatsoever to speak of from the Chiefs. I think they had 12 carries for 14 yards from the backs. So on top of over 400 yards passing, Mahomes was the leading rusher with over 60 yards with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion running. And so it was really just like the death of Patrick Mahomes without Tyreek Hill was greatly overestimated, right? I mean, this guy is leading the MVP debate. There's nobody realistically can think. I mean, maybe there's a case for Tyreek Hill because he's like already at like 1,000 yards receiving for the season. But it's even more impressive that Mahomes is leading the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns when the guy that is about to break the receiving record is not on his team anymore. So just sit there and think about that. You look at some of the regression from like Aaron Rodgers without Davante Adams, the Titans losing A.J. Brown and what that's done to their passing offense. You look at like Tua kind of popping up and being like on the fringe bubble MVP talk, basically because he got, a premium wide receiver, and for Patrick to be doing what he's doing just proves further how much the man he really is and how real what we've seen the past few years has been, because there's been a lot of talk about him being kind of a product of his weapons and Andy Reid and all this. But I mean, the dude is the real deal, and he'll get it done, and he will win you a game no matter what it takes, like at the end. And so those are kind of my standouts from the week.
Did you, hey Nick, did you say the defense tightened up?
Yeah.
On the Titans? Was that on purpose?
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up now.
Nice pun intended. Bo?
Yeah, it's not to completely repeat everything Nick said. I was also frustrated with the defense. I thought it was a little bit longer than the first half. I saw it kind of leak into the second half into the third quarter. It's finally like the fourth quarter where everybody kind of seemed to turn the light bulbs on and start playing. It seemed like there's a huge play by Nick Bolton, my man, that I feel like just completely turned the game around, took them out of scoring position, dropped them out of field goal range. They had to kick us the ball back. We capitalized on it. But yeah, not Patrick Mahomes. Nick said everything you can, so I'm going to just kind of go off of that a little bit. I was really frustrated with the way our O-line was playing. We couldn't get a run game established. Patrick Mahomes was scrambling for his life again. Like it kind of had like echoes to me of the Super Bowl where he just didn't have any options, man. And he was just running for his life and making plays. And luckily we have Patrick Mahomes and he's able to do that. But that was more frustrating to me, dude. We had, I think, 4 guys attempt 12 or 13 runs and they only got 14 yards out of total. Yeah. I mean, just absolutely pathetic run game. That was probably more or less I think the catalyst for why Patrick Mahomes has said, like Nick said, just fuck it, I'll do it myself. Like, you guys aren't going to run, I'll show you how to run. And I'm so lucky we have that guy. He's the scramble master, and he proved it on Sunday, man. Such a huge asset to have. Other than that, yeah, defense, way to turn it around though, man. When they stepped up, and they stepped up big time when it completely mattered. The sacks on all the plays on the Titans' last drive were just insanely huge. Dunlap and Saunders and everybody getting pressure. Jones is right there. It was really exciting defense to watch. So, yeah. What about you, Sky? What's your overall impressions of the game?
It was one of those games where the Chiefs, you feel like the Chiefs are dominating, and then you look at the scoreboard and halftime, and it's 14-9, and you're like, how are the Chiefs losing this game?
Right.
I saw a lot of people say that the Titans' defensive line put some pressure on Mahomes, and they did some things. But honestly, the only thing that stopped the Chiefs in that first half, especially the first half, was the damn penalties. That was
100%.
it.
100%.
The Chiefs were just moving the ball methodically at will down the field. Tennessee had no answers. The Chiefs, I mean, why would you run the ball when you're throwing it and getting 4, 5, or 6 yards or more on every play? They were passing it all over. I think the Chiefs knew that the front seven and the defensive line of the Titans was their strength. So instead of just, running your running backs into that and hoping for the best, they came out, they threw the ball. You guys, how many times have you heard me say, I would love to see the Chiefs just throw the ball for an entire game and not even call one running play. I would love to see what it looked like if Mahomes just threw the ball on every play. That's probably about as close as you're ever going to get right there.
Yeah.
The score is deceiving because if you look at the yards the Chiefs put up, and then they had over 500 something yards, and they had, I want to say, 29 or 30 first downs in the game. That's just wild.
Yeah.
But it was big play penalty. You talked about the running game. Pacheco had a nice 10 or 15-yard run. Penalty, coming back. They had a nice play to Kelce on a drive that ended up getting stalled out. I think that turned into a punt. Holding. Weak-ass holding call.
Yeah, Mahomes probably had a 500-yard passing game if they didn't call some of that stuff back, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, easily.
So it just felt like all these Chiefs games that are all too familiar where the Chiefs are clearly the better team. I know Derrick Henry had a couple of big runs, but outside of that one really long run in the first half, he didn't have a bunch of these monster runs and a ton of yards outside of those. It was just, again, one of those games where you feel like you should be looking down at the score and it's 21-3 at half. Chiefs are cruising to an easy win. I think Vegas was when you look at these two teams, I think Vegas had the point spread right. If the referees keep some of those flags in their pocket, you're looking at a Chiefs team that would be blowing them out at halftime. But they decided to call the penalties, which is extremely frustrating. They missed an offsides on the Titans down by the goal line that would have, if I recall correctly, would have put the Chiefs like first and goal right there inside the 5, maybe at the 2 or the 3 yard line. Didn't call it. The ensuing drive for the Titans, they call Chris Jones offside, give them a new set of downs right at the goal line. Touchdown.
His helmet's like barely over the line. Right. Oh God, that was so ridiculous.
Every time I see Clete Blakeman is going to ref the Chiefs game, I just know that like it's going to be a bad ref game for the Chiefs. The dude's squad throws a lot of flags, and he seems to throw a lot of flags on the Chiefs for sure. So
they really do. When you watch other games on Sundays, you're just like, man, these games just feel different. Oh, that's because there isn't a flag on every single play.
Yeah. You do see some of these other games with a lot of penalties, but it doesn't seem like anything like the Chiefs games. It's just a flag fest, and it's ref ball. So I mean, that's my general takeaway from the game was there's another one of these games that shouldn't have been close, and not just because of the referees. There was some plays, guys dropped past. Kelce had some drops. Chiefs had a turnover, but the Derrick Henry thing, I agree with you, Nick. What is it, the famous meme or whatever? You had one job, like stop Derrick Henry. But I don't know if Derrick Henry's hurt. But I don't know. You usually don't see Derrick Henry get run down from behind in the open field like that. There was a couple of those long runs where they ended up tracking him down, and I want to say maybe they ended up scoring touchdowns on one of those drives. I can't remember. One, I think we ended up getting a stop. They called a penalty. And they did call some penalties to help the Chiefs stop drives in the second half. So that evened itself out somewhat there later in the game. But, yeah, it was a game where the Chiefs, you feel like should dominate or are dominating, and they should be up by a bunch. It should be an easy win. It's just really not – you're not going to win every game easy. Not every game is going to be like the 49ers. Right. 2 weeks ago where you just blow them out and you're cruising, you feel comfortable for 2 or 3 quarters of the game.
Brenda's 100% accurate right here with her comment saying Chiefs ever get offense and defense together at the same time for 4 quarters, it'll be awesome. Like, yeah, of course.
Brenda, I've been saying that my entire life. It seems like.
No, yeah.
It's the Chiefs mantra, right?
Right. So let's get into some individual performances. Then we'll start. Bo, I know you've been waiting since Sunday to talk about your guys. So the floor is yours, man.
Nick Bolton, my man, right? Like I can't say enough good things about this guy. This kid, since day one, as a rookie, that he's just made an impact in the course of play. He's there. He's aggressive. He's all over the field. We're about to show a video here of what I feel like turned around the game completely for us. Mahomes had just thrown a pass to Kelce. It got tipped and intercepted. They scored points off of it. And then, our offense was kind of fizzling out. So this is in the fourth quarter. We needed a stop. Titans were they were in field goal range to go up to what Nick was saying earlier, to take a 2-score lead. And so here's the video that I feel like really turned the game around.
Hilliard's the back. It is Hilliard. It is nothing. Nick Bolton with a big play that takes them out of field goal.
I mean, absolutely clutch, right? At the right timing when you needed it most to keep us alive in the game. That's my go-to guy right there, man. Nick Bolton.
He kind of owns Derrick Henry too. It seems like every time the Chiefs have played the Titans since he's been on the team, there's one or two plays where the dude just comes in and blows up Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry, I mean, that's a tall task. Going back to that highlight real quick, Tirico on that call was so great. He was like, "It is Hilliard. It is nothing." Like it was nothing.
It is Hilliard. It is nothing.
Great call. I don't know. Real quick, I'm going to get off on a tangent here, but Tirico, to me, he's the best going right now as far as play-by-play guys in the NFL. You guys have a disagreement with that? I love that guy, man. He's so good.
He actually looks like he enjoys it, right? It's not a job for him. Like he's actually enjoying the game he's watching in front of him.
Yeah.
Him and Al Michaels, right? I've always been an Al Michaels fan, so.
Sure. Yeah. Al Michaels, to me, feels like, I don't know, I haven't really watched many of them because I don't have Amazon Prime. So
yeah,
maybe I haven't watched Al Michaels games this year. Al Michaels is really good, but Tirico, I feel like this guy can energy in his calls too.
Yeah.
Maybe Al Michaels doesn't have these days. He's getting a little bit older, but anyway, we don't need to talk about play-by-play callers the whole time. But I like Tirico. I like the Sunday Night Football broadcast. Collinsworth is a little annoying to me, but Tirico is really good. So, we're talking about refs earlier. There was a hands where the guy sacked Patrick Mahomes, and he hits him right in the face, man. It's ref saying right there. Don't call it, of course. So
there's a laundry list of missed calls that they had. I'm sure my neighbors are just loving me on Sundays when I'm going, holding, that's holding, just yelling it all game long.
Yeah. Nick Bolton, he's just like, you said it there. Since day one, the guy has been really good. What's up, John C? Good to see you, bro. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you in here again, man. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, Nick Bolton he brings like a attitude to the defense. He brings like an energy that was definitely not just knocking them out of field goal range. It was borderline field goal range right there, and then that forces the punt. But the guy just seems like he's one of those players that has a nose for the ball, right? We used to talk about Dan Swanson.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Dirty Dan in the sense that the guy just always seems to be around the ball when there's a big play being made. Even if he's not making the big play, go back to the Denver game where Melvin Ingram gets in the backfield, knocks the ball loose from Melvin Gordon. Who's there? Nick Bolton to pick it up and run it back 90 yards for a touchdown that ended up sealing that game. The guy is just, if he's not making the play, he's around the play, and he's there to make big plays even bigger. He's been a hell of a
Bobby Boucher attitude, man.
Right. Nick Bolton. Anything else you noticed about his play? Any plays? Anything that stands out?
Or who's your player of the game, essentially?
Yeah, I don't know that there's much I can add to that. I mean, I think that clip that Bo played says it all, and John C. summed it up. It's a superhero play. It's we got to have it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about once he hits the guy, what's going to happen in that play. It's that sums up that dude in a nutshell, right? We've seen maybe some people that aren't on the Chiefs anymore over the last couple of years, maybe make some misses there, whiffs, maybe business decisions when they got to tackle guys like Derrick Henry. And that's not Nick Bolton. He's a guy that's willing to put his body on the line, get out there and do what's necessary to make a play, right? And those are the dudes that like they win games, right? I mean, that's not the play that won the game, but that's a play that allowed us to win the game. And those are the plays that, when you have guys like that, that's why you win these close games and you're able to come from behind, because you have dudes that'll step up, and when you got to have it, they come through. So kudos to Nick Bolton. Was it last week that somebody picked Nick Bolton to have a big game when somebody had stepped away, or is that 2 weeks ago?
That was last week. I picked the
somebody had
receiving
picked
core.
Nick Bolton to have a big game. So kudos to whoever that was.
You
Scoop
You snaked it from me.
You talk about guys making business decisions. There was a guy that wore that 32 here recently for the Chiefs that made some business decisions. So it's good to see Nick Bolton putting his nose in there, taking one for the team.
I wasn't going to name names. I don't need to get blown up on Twitter.
I should probably be careful talking about
I feel like
that.
I got to give it one more year before I get that jersey for said anonymous player we're not mentioning.
Yeah. On the defense, too, we saw some other contributors. Carlos Dunlap got a big sack there. It was late in the game. Chris Jones was all up in there. He was making plays. So anybody else stand out on the defense to you guys that you noticed?
The whole line, man. I think they stepped up fourth quarter when we needed them most. They looked fantastic. I was kind of alluding that at the top of the hour. Just Dunlap, Saunders, Chris Jones was getting in the mix. Just this close to getting sacks. Missed a couple of them. Yeah. Nick?
Watching on my phone makes it a little difficult for trying to pick out individual performances. So, I mean, anytime that you can clamp down Derrick Henry, it's got to come down to solid line play, right? So kudos to the defense. I mean, keeping us in the game when we were struggling to convert those yards into points. I mean, that's a tall task against anybody. And, luckily the Titans have like zero passing offense, or else that game could have got out of hand.
Yeah.
Right.
That Malik Willis, that quarterback for the Titans, on their last final drive there, only drive in overtime, what was that guy doing? He was just running around getting sacked, losing yards left and right. Like, bro, throw it away.
I've never seen a quarterback with so much time on each play take a sack every play.
Right. And it wasn't even like he made a lot of time, but the pressure was getting to him there, especially in that drive in overtime. But he ran around and scrambled and juked and jived and ducked and then lost 10 yards. And then on the next play, did the same thing and lost 5 yards. Next thing you know, it's like 4th and 23. It's like, bro, you got to get rid of the ball. And you can't sit there and lose 15 yards in overtime on your own end of the field. That kid's got a long ways to go. He did not. He had a couple of nice runs where he escaped and ran out and got some yardage, but he did not look very good. He's a pretty raw talent there. The Tennessee's got their work cut out, I think. If the plan is to move on from Tannehill to him. So, but yeah, the defense, I want to say they gave up 1 first down in the second half and overtime combined. Maybe gave up 25 or 29 yards somewhere in there. It was next to nothing. So
I think it was because of all those sacks that we were talking about. I mean, they had a pretty decent yardage total, and then tally minus 15 for 7 plays.
The rookie Trent McDuffie, he was targeted. His receiver, he was targeted twice in coverage. Didn't give up any catches. Kind of a small sample size, but it was good to see the first round pick back, getting his feet wet. That's a pretty good game for him to come back to. They weren't throwing the ball at him left and right, so he could get back in a little bit of game shape, get some game speed. Only went at him twice, and both times he locked it down. He had a nice play on one of those two where it was kind of a long pass play there down left side of the field, and he was able to knock it out, break it up, stay right there, glued to the defender without getting a penalty for the. I thought for sure they were going to call pass interference on him, but they didn't. So all just complaining about the refs, but they actually made a good call there.
What were your guys' thoughts on the receiving core of this game and like some of the pretty spectacular receptions that were made. Travis Kelce, Watson made one. Noah Gray made a fantastic catch. Like, they kind of stepped up. MVS caught one at his feet, which I thought for sure was going into the ground.
Yeah.
Overall takes on the receiving core. Were you okay with that? I know we had a turnover and some drop passes, especially on a fourth down that was pretty crucial. But yeah, overall impressions of the receivers. Nick, I know you got limited time.
Yeah. I'm gonna duck out here in a couple of minutes, guys. Yeah, I mean, over 400 yards, right, receiving. So the pass game was popping, and it was going to everybody. That play that you're talking about, with the MVS where he caught it down at his feet, I mean, that was pretty spectacular. I think Mahomes was under duress when he threw that ball. So yeah, I mean, I definitely, that was a standout. Kelce, 100-yard game. He'll sit there and tell you that he had a few drops that really irked him. He was talking about it on his podcast with his brother. But I mean, another 100-yard performance. He was eating them up, and I mean, he was getting handled at the line. They weren't giving him free releases to get downfield. They knew that he was a guy that they had to stop. They focused on stopping him, and he only had over 100 yards receiving. So, so go Kelce, right?
Yeah.
So
that guy really
was like
together.
I think it was like 3 plays in, they started like Kelce was like shoving and pushing a guy. They're like hitting each other's face masks and whatnot. Like,
yeah,
yeah. Kelce was crushing him on that first drive, and they started getting a little chippy and really holding him. But the receivers, Patrick Mahomes completed passes to 11 different receivers. So everybody was getting in there. MVS had 1 catch. He was almost non-existent. He was in witness protection. I don't know where he was at that game. It was a nice catch he made down the shoestring, so give him credit there. But yeah, our guy John had comment up there a second ago. Juju, yeah, he had another 10 catches. I don't think he got quite to 100 yards. I think he got 85
something, 88,
89 yards. So, which is still a pretty good day. 10 catches for almost 90 yards. I mean, that's, you're not going to, unless you're Tyreek Hill, you're not going to get 150 yards every game. So
yeah.
McCole Hardman made some decent plays. He had a bad drop though.
Yeah, that was the drop I was alluding to.
But hey, man, when you're throwing the ball as much as the Chiefs did, he had 68 pass attempts in that game. Is that right?
Yeah.
Whew, man, that's a lot of throwing the ball around. But yeah, I mean, all the guys were getting involved. We saw they went to Kadarius Toney on the first play of the game, and you saw some of his moves. He didn't get a whole lot of yards, but man, he juked 2 guys out of their shorts, and there was kind of a bit of a buzz going around highlights on Twitter the next day about a route he ran where he took off and he acted like he was gonna do a fake backspin move and then actually spun back around, and the defender is just grabbing it there and falls on the ground. He caught it. He didn't have a big day. He didn't have a lot of catches. He didn't turn him into a lot of yards, but you saw a glimpse, a little bit of a flash there of what that guy maybe can bring to the table as he gets a little bit more familiar.
Did you see the clip of him blocking?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
put that guy right on his butt.
Chip, huh?
Oh, destroyed him.
Yeah, so it'd be good to keep an eye on him. But yeah, overall, I mean, over 400 yards passing, your receiver's going to have a good day. That was a beautiful catch by Watson. He was covered like a blanket on that play and turned around that back shoulder and caught it right there in the crook of his arm and his elbow and managed to go to the ground, right, and hang on to the ball. Didn't drop it. Didn't let it come out. Didn't let the nose of the ball hit the ground.
John B,
super
what's
good play by
up?
him. What's up, John B? Good to see you, buddy. I know he's not a receiver, but Noah Gray, huge catch.
Yeah.
Down the middle of the field. A hell of a play by Mahomes to elude the sack there by just enough time to get the ball to Gray. He goes up. He's covered like a blanket, hits him in the hands. The defender hits him kind of at the same time. It wasn't interference. It was just a good play by the defender. Bobbled up in the air, and then as he's coming down and turning backwards, still is able to keep his eye on the ball, brought it down. So, yeah, they came through when they needed to. They came through in the clutch. we talked about Travis Kelce, another 100-yard game. So if you haven't subscribed yet, we got some more viewers than we had at the beginning of the show. He ties Gronk for most 100-yard receiving games by a tight end. When he sets the record, could be Sunday, we're going to be doing the Travis Kelce prize pack giveaway to one of our YouTube subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You want to get in on that. It could happen soon, playing the Jaguars, which we'll get into here pretty soon. But
more than likely will be happening on Sunday.
What's that, Nick?
Create a second account with YouTube and subscribe. Double your odds.
Yeah, this is a winnable contest.
Ask Brenda.
Ask Brenda.
It's real.
There will be a winner, and it could be you. Your odds are a lot better than the Powerball, and it doesn't cost anything. So, but how's the old saying go? You got to play to win. So you got to be subscribed to win the giveaway. But big day from the receivers. Nothing to talk about with the running game. Pacheco did have one long run called back on a penalty, a 10 or 15-yard gallop there that ended up stalling another drive. Which was the story of the first half. The Chiefs moving the ball at will and penalties, killing drives. So, Scott, did I win score prediction? I don't know. Did you? I don't recall.
Yeah, I think he was the only one that had like a close score. Everybody else was kind of predicting, along the Vegas odds of like 10 points or more.
Yeah. Looks like we got Laney's in here. Good to see you, Laney. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it, John. Good to see you. Good show in Locker Room rant last night. It was a lot of funny. The story about Nick calling the police on himself. So funny. Oh man.
I had a similar thing. I'm going to tell this story and then I'll drop out. So I'm in my hotel here, right? And we're going down to get breakfast. And the safe in my room here isn't working, right? And so I'm talking to my coworker that's here with me, and I'm like, I just like to keep my passport like locked up, right? Because like I can't get home if I don't have a passport. And he's like, yeah, no, you can put it in my safe. And so like we eat breakfast, I head up, and I come to my room, and my door to my room is like wide open. And I'm just like, oh no, there's like nobody around, and like. So I go in, thankfully, like all my stuff is there. I grab my passport, I get downstairs, and I'm like, I go to the desk, and I don't know who, like from your cleaning staff was in my room, but like you guys, like my door's wide open. And they
was any of your stuff missing?
No, none of my stuff was missing. They're like, oh man, we'll get on CCTV and, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm like, all right, and I was polite, right? I wasn't a jerk. So I go to work, right? And this is like the first day that I'm here, so I'm still jet lagged. It's like a 11 and a half hour difference here. So it's like swapping day and night. And so we get back, and I go to the desk, and it's a different guy. And I'm like, hey, and I'm from room, and he's like, oh yeah, I know you room this. And it's like, yeah, he's like, we watched the CCTV, and you left your door open when you left your room. So I guess like if the door like gets all the way open, there's like a magnet, and I guess I just didn't notice that the door didn't shut behind me, jet lagged and trying to get down to get breakfast to try to navigate my way to the office. And I was just like, no, we watched, and that was totally you that left your freaking door open. So when John V and them were talking about Nick calling the police and calling him on himself, and they're like, can we switch Nicks? I was like, I don't know that that's going to help, because I did essentially the same shit.
You get one Nick for the other, man.
So
yeah, there's going to be
they are total crap, right? The safes in the rooms, but like it's better than just having it in my bag, right? So
right. John V wants to know where you're at.
I am in India. I'm in Pune, India, which is the Maharashtra state. I'm about like an hour and a half from Mumbai. So
very nice.
You should feel honored, John. When I was commenting on your show, it was like 7 in the morning or something, 8 in the morning.
Yep. So, yeah, if you haven't watched John V's show Locker Room Rant, you're missing out.
It's do hilarious.
That. Yeah, listen to the story about Nick calling the police. That was a good one. So
yeah, they talk all sports, and it's hilarious, and it's Tuesday nights, and it's just a lot of fun. So go give them a sub, go give them some views, give them some thumbs up. You'll be glad you joined in on that show. Good times. So,
All right, guys,
All right.
I'm gonna drop out. I'm gonna try to call and FaceTime the kids and stuff. But
okay.
let's go Chiefs. My Jaguars score prediction is we're gonna win 38-20. I see the offense isn't gonna be held down to this week, so let's go kick some ass in Jacksonville. And otherwise, let's go Chiefs. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep. Yeah. Take care,
All right.
Nick.
Bye. No.